Now the headlines. Where you are, it's the ITV News.
Good evening. Here are the main stories in London. A man has died after a shooting at a party in South London this morning. Police were called to Birdhurst Road, Croydon at 5 o'clock this morning. The 35-year-old victim was pronounced dead at the scene. The Metropolitan Police are appealing for people who were at the party to come forward. Police are looking to identify a man wanted for exposing himself and sexually assaulting women in East London. The suspect is wanted for 7 offences in Tower Hamlets. The man had cycled up behind women before sexually assaulting them each time. 4 people have been injured after an attack in central London. A man hit 2 women with a hammer in Regent Street last night. He then went into a pub nearby where he attacked 2 more people. The 38-year-old was detained by security guards before being arrested. The victims were taken to hospital. Their injuries aren't thought to be life-threatening. A leading industry expert says the government must prioritise fuel deliveries to the capital when the army starts delivering to filling stations next week. The chairman of the Petrol Retailers Association told ITV News that the fuel situation has got worse in London and also remains a big problem in the southeast. Army tankers will be used to supply petrol stations from Monday. Now, time to look at the sports news in London.
For the love of the game. eBay sponsors ITV Regional Sports Reports.
A teenager from Staines who's been shielding is running the London Marathon in his garden tomorrow, fundraising for brain tumour research. William Priddy has spent months at home while he's been treated for a brain tumour. Rachel Brown reports.
The London Marathon is back. Tens of thousands of runners will be taking on the 26.2 miles tomorrow. But for 13-year-old William Priddy, his start line is slightly different, running his marathon in the back garden at his home in Staines.
It's going to be hard because they've got concrete and I've got grass and I might slip about a bit tomorrow. It's going to be tough, but I've done a half already, so I just want to bring it on now.
William and his family are shielding. They have been for 43 weeks after his dad Greg was diagnosed with a rare brain tumour last year.
It was quite a surreal thing because I didn't really know what to think about it. It was quite hard. So there's loads of people with brain tumours out there and I want to find a cure for those people so they can be fit and healthy again.
But it was his school teacher that inspired him to run.
Well, when I first got told I was stuck in for a long time, I told my teacher and he said to do something positive to help people.
Since January, William has been running a mile every day, mixing it up a bit with a few costume changes and some changeable weather along the way.
The snow one I'd say probably the hardest because I had like my neighbours throwing snowballs whilst doing it, so I collected some and threw them back.
But all is forgiven. Neighbours and his family will be cheering him on.
He's committed to do it and decided to do it. Both children throughout this whole ordeal was showing great strength and maturity, and they've been absolutely amazing and inspiring.
How about you, Mum?
I'm very proud of Wills for doing this. It's going to be hard. I think he will struggle near the end, but he'll do it.
And Mum and Dad have brought Big Ben and Tower Bridge to Surrey, so William isn't missing out too much.
It feels like he's there.
So have you worked out how many laps of this garden you're going to have to do?
It's going to be 1,992. My legs might be tired, but after that I might have a snooze after.
And I'm sure no one can argue with that. Rachel Brown, ITV News.
Yeah, that's a lot of laps. On to football now. And 3 London clubs were in action in the Premier League today. Chelsea took on Southampton this afternoon. The Blues won 3-1. Elsewhere, Watford lost 1-0 away at Leeds. And Arsenal are away at Brighton. It's still 0-0 at half-time. Here's the weather with James.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV London weekend weather.
Yeah, there, good evening. Rather wet end to the day, I'm afraid. More unsettled weather to come, but there is a bit of good news about the London Marathon. Talk about that in a moment. Low pressure in control for the next few days, in fact, and because of what's happening with the jet stream, this little system here set to develop, turn into its own low pressure system, bringing some significant wet weather through Tuesday, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Today's rain clearing away. You might see a little bit of rain just skirting parts of the capital area one point during the overnight period. But essentially it's a dry night. Some high cloud out there, that stops the temperatures falling too far, 9 or 10 Celsius, the low, and the wind drops out too. But those are both temporary features, because tomorrow morning, actually nice, dry and bright, so probably good news for the runners. As we head into the afternoon though, a bit more cloud, a few more showers, and the wind picking up once again. So even if you're just going to watch the marathon, you might want to wear something quite warm. Temperatures actually look pretty decent just on temperatures alone, 17 Celsius, but it will be blustery, and then more showers to come on Monday, and that risk of more significant rain on Tuesday.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV London weekend weather.
And we are back tomorrow evening. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.